Hey guys, this is Jack from Team Empire, and today we're discussing the new Dragon Empire Encounter ride line for set 11, Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. It's pretty nice that Dragon Empire finally has another Encounter ride line, because they haven't had one since Overlord, so it's cool that Narukami finally gets their representation in D-Series. But without any further ado, let's get started. We have the starter, Spark Kid Dragoon, which is just the average starter. You know, you can play it if you want. I assume if you're going to stick with the Narukami style, you're going to go for Spark Kid Dragoon. Then we have the grade 1 for the ride line, which is Red River Dragoon, who says auto when this unit is rode upon by a grade 2 whose clan is Narukami. Search your deck for up to 1 Eternal Thunderbolt, reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it searches for the archetypal order, which a lot of encounter ride lines are actually getting archetypal orders now, which is cool. I like that, especially since it references their flavor text, which is really awesome. And this is very similar, if not the exact same skill as Theo for Aquaforce for the Maelstrom ride line, and you're about to see the similarities with the grade 2 as well. Then auto Vanguard Circle, when this unit boosts, if your grade 3 or greater Vanguard's clan is Narukami, cost counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's back row rear guards, bind it. If you did not bind, use Soul Charge 2 instead. So now we have just easy access bind in D series, which I know we already kind of had with like Messiah and Eva if they choose to play the grade 2, but those are like either late game in Eva's case or just one time with Messiah. But this time, now it's like easy access binding, which makes sense. It is Narukami after all. Next up, we have the main grade 2 of the ride line, which is Thunderstorm Dragoon, who says auto when this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 whose clan is Narukami, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card whose clan is Narukami, reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So I'm a little jealous of this skill because this is very similar to Algos for Aquaforce, but it's better because it adds the card to your hand as opposed to calling it to Vanguard Circle. So this deck can actually search Persona Ride off this effect, while if you see Persona Ride with Algos, you'll just have to call it. So that's a little unfortunate on my part. I'm just a little jealous of that. But I think it balances out because he searches for an Aquaforce or a Tear Dragon, and this only searches for Narukami. So the search range for this is a lot less than Algos' search range. So it's fair, and it's a really good skill, like really good that you can be able to search for Persona Rides or for more pieces, which will probably encourage more people based on their rearguard skills to play more of the ride line. Next up, we have its second effect, which is auto when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle. If your Vanguard's clan is Narukami, cost Soul Charge 1. This unit gets plus 5k power until end of turn. So once again, more Soul Rampage, which seems a little weird at first because Kaiser Vermillion does not actually use Soul, but 2 of his support cards do. So it makes sense that Thunderstorm and Red River would want to Soul Charge as much. Plus, who knows, maybe if there's a Narukami deck needs more Soul and Premium, maybe these guys can be included since they're very easy to just slot into any deck. On top of that, this effect actually doesn't care what grade of Vanguard you're on. So you can actually play Thunderstorm Dragoon early, Soul Charge 1, get a little bit of extra Soul, and then power yourself up to make it 15k, which is really cool. Nice little rush. But now moving on to the main grade 3, which is Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion, who has Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1, choose 2 of your units whose clans are Narukami, and they get plus 5k power until end of turn. Then, during this turn, when this unit would attack, you may choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, and this unit battles the units on the chosen circles as well as your opponent's Vanguard. Then, auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you played a normal order during this turn, and your opponent has 4 or less cards in their damage zone, discard 1 card, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, and deal damage to it. That's kind of really good. You know, Counterblast 1 to not only attack attack chosen units of your choice, it doesn't have to attack the front row. So if your opponent put cards to the back row to like kind of get around this skill, now they can't. You can just choose 3. And then Counterblast 1 for also powering up 2 of your units that can include himself or 2 of your rear guards is really strong as well. And that second effect is kind of insane because all you need to do is play a normal order, which the archetypal normal order in this set is searchable from the grade 1 for the ride line. So immediately you can just like deal a damage to your opponent's Vanguard, and it doesn't even care what grade your opponent's Vanguard is on. So this can be a really good ride-up deck. Like just immediately ride up and just do your thing and immediately like put your opponent in a bad spot. Especially Eva. Eva has probably the worst matchup against this guy because their Obscudeeds are 10k interceptors, but now every time Vermillion can just counterblast one, choose those cards, and immediately attack all of them while also dealing Eva damage as well, because Eva actually doesn't draw that many cards. Most of their offense comes from their search ability and from their Obscudeeds. So this deck is the ultimate Eva counter. So if you're an Eva hater, I recommend you probably pick up this deck when it comes out in set 11. And then finally, not finally, I should say, we have 3 more cards. It's not finally. Next up, we have the archetypal normal order that this deck searches, Eternal Thunderbolt, which I must say the artwork is so badass. I want to see this card in frame rare. This card may be played from your drop zone or hand if you have a Vanguard with Vermillion and its card name whose clan is Narukami. Choose one of your Vanguards until end of turn. It gets the skill Continuous on Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's rear guards that this unit hit will be retired from Rearguard Circle, they are instead bound. And then Continuous Vanguard Circle, if your opponent has no rear guards, all your front or rear guards get power plus 5k. If this unit was played from drop zone, bind it. So it gives Vermillion even more effects on top of the effects he already has, I should say. So being able to not only attack those Obscudeeds from Eva, but bind them so they can't recover it back to the hand with the grade 1 research or the Gremlin if they still play the Gremlin. And also being able to power up your entire front row after you clear their board is once again crazy. Like it's pretty much the Lukier grade 1 breathing dragon, but it's in an order. And it can be played from the drop zone too, so you can discard this card for PGs or heal it from your damage zone and then immediately use that effect next turn. Overall, this is looking like a really strong deck just from these 4 cards. We still have 2 more cards to talk about. Next card looks very familiar if you played V-Series, Rising Phoenix. It's a common grade 1 that says auto from drop zone when either player's card is bound by your card's effect during your turn. If your Vanguard's only clan is Narukami, cost Soul Blast 1 to call this card to Rearguard Circle. Then, act Rearguard Circle, cost retire this unit, choose one of your units and it gets power plus 5k until end of turn. So, Rising Phoenix has multi-attack now, because the thing about V-Series Rising Phoenix is that it had to be called to an open Rearguard Circle, which this one doesn't actually need to be called to open Rearguard Circle. On top of that, because with the order, Vermillion attacks the front row and binds the front row now, you'll be able to call this card from drop, and you'll be able to get plus 5k from the order's effect as well. So it'll be 13k and it can actually hit your opponent's Vanguard. Now, if it can actually hit over defensives, that's a real issue. But if they don't hit any defensives, hey, it's really good. And on Persona Ride turns, this is also kind of crazy. Another thing that makes this card better than the V-Series one is the V-Series one has no way of actually clearing itself off the board. So you need to like call over it with other cards, which is a minus in some sense of the word. But now you can actually use its effect to kill itself to power one of your units even more. So overall, really powerful common. It's really funny how they gave this archetype a common way of multi-attacking. That's really funny. But yeah, really strong. Rising Phoenix is looking great. And then one more card to end off this support is Dragonic Death Scythe, which is the grade 2 double rare for the ride line, which says continuous from Rearguard Circle. During your turn, if your opponent has no front row rearguards, this unit gets plus 5k power, even more 5k power being tossed around. Then auto Rearguard Circle, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard whose clan is only Narukami, cost Soul Blast 2, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and bind it. If you did not bind, draw a card. So this is very similar type of skill like Gandiva, to where a lot of Gandiva's cards pay a cost to either retire something, and if they don't retire, then they get an additional effect, mostly a draw. So Death Scythe looking really good. Death Scythe and Rising Phoenix are the main reasons why the Red River and Thunderstorm soul charge so much, which makes perfect sense. Honestly, it's really good. Like, I don't know what else to say. Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion is looking really good in this set. Like, if you're looking to pick up a very strong Dragon Empire deck and you're not looking to pick up Gondiva, maybe wait till set 11 because Vermillion's looking super strong. I know JC is super excited for this ride line. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know y'all's thoughts on Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. Let me know if you think it's going to get any more support in this set to make him even stronger. Let me know if you have any problems with the ride line, or let me know what y'all think this is going to do with the meta. Do you think this is going to completely kill Eva, completely destroy her from the meta game, or do you think her support in set 11 is going to bring her up even higher? Alright, thanks guys. Bye.